Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Julie Chrisley shares her main focus while in prison. Julie Chrisley has revealed what her main focus was while she was locked up in prison. Fans have been wondering if she was focused on her children, getting out, Todd, or what she was mainly worried about while she was behind bars. Well, she has shared what her priority was and what she felt the worst about while doing her time. There is a lot to unfold and uncover when it comes to this. Keep reading to find out more about this situation. Julie Chrisley gets out of prison, but has PTSD. Julie Chrisley was locked up for over 2 years in federal prison. This was for tax evasion and fraud. Todd Chrisley was also locked up at the same time. However, Donald Trump chose to pardon both of them. During this time, Savannah Chrisley had to take custody of her younger siblings, Grayson and Chloe. The prison time hit Julie much harder than it did Todd. Savannah has even said that she sees more trauma in her mother than in her father. This was a hard time for the entire family. She shares what her main focus was in prison. Julie Chrisley has shared that her main focus while in prison was her children. This does not shock fans as she has always been a good mother. This does not shock anyone. However, they do feel bad for Julie as they could not imagine being away from their kids for this long. It seems as though Julie Chrisley's main focus during her time away was her children. This is not shocking to hear, as her children are her world. She knew Chase and Savannah were going to have to step up and be parents when they were more than likely not ready for that. This is something that would be hard on any parent. However, some do not feel bad for her as they think she deserved it. In a place where steel doors echo louder than laughter and time crawls through concrete walls, Julie Chrisley, once a polished star of Chrisley Knows Best, has found herself navigating a new reality behind bars. Gone are the Southern mansion's glitzy kitchens and perfectly curated family brunches. In their place, structured routines, limited phone calls, and reflections that stretch longer than the days themselves. But according to sources close to Julie, and in a rare letter shared with a family friend, the former reality TV matriarch is finding something surprising amid the hardship: purpose. "I miss my family more than words can say," Julie reportedly wrote. "But I've chosen not to let that grief consume me. My focus is on healing, helping others, and making peace with my past." Rediscovering her faith. Faith was always an important part of the Chrisley family's public persona. But behind bars, Julie has clung to it like a lifeline. Sources say she starts every morning with a devotional and prayer, sometimes leading a small group of fellow inmates through Bible study sessions. It's not just a ritual. It's her anchor. She's become somewhat of a spiritual leader in there, one insider revealed. Women go to her when they're overwhelmed or scared. Julie doesn't act like a TV star. She listens. She comforts. Faith, she says, is no longer performative or decorative. It's transformative. It's the lens through which she's learned to see herself not as an inmate, but as a woman in the middle of a personal resurrection. Health and wholeness from the inside out. Julie has also turned her attention inward, literally. Having long prioritized her family's health, she's now applying the same care to herself. From joining a prison fitness class to creating a makeshift gratitude journal out of scraps of notebook paper, Julie is reclaiming her mind and body. She's lost weight. Yes, but it's more than that, another source shared. Her face has softened. Her eyes look clearer. There's no Botox or lighting tricks in here. What you see now is real. Raw Julie. Her daily exercise includes stretches, walking laps in the yard, and helping older inmates with low-impact routines. She encourages healthier eating where she can, though choices are limited. She once made a Thanksgiving meal out of ramen noodles, canned beans, and crackers. A fellow inmate laughed. She said, "Honey, a Chrisley can make anything work with the right mindset." Mentorship and mending. But perhaps most powerful is how Julie has leaned into mentorship. She has found herself drawn to younger women in the prison. many of them first-time offenders, some pregnant or without family support. Julie has started informal life circles with these women, offering them guidance on how to emotionally prepare for life after release. "She's like a mama to a lot of us," said one 24-year-old inmate. "She teaches us how to write resumes, how to handle ourselves in interviews, how to keep from going back to old habits." She doesn't
Julie's
preach.
past life,
She shares. As a wife, mother, and businesswoman, has become a tool set. She talks about budgeting, balancing discipline with compassion, and how to ask for forgiveness without expecting immediate trust in return. "She doesn't act like she's better than us," another woman said. "She just wants us to know that we're not our worst mistake." Keeping the Chrisley spirit alive. Despite the restrictions of prison life, Julie has remained as connected to her family as possible. Phone calls are precious, and letters are often deeply emotional. She writes to Savannah weekly and sends handmade birthday cards to her grandchildren. She's even sent encouraging notes to Todd, who is serving time in a different facility. "She doesn't focus on bitterness," Savannah once said during an interview. "Mom's mindset is, if we have to walk through this, let's walk it with grace." There's also been a creative spark rekindled. Julie has been keeping a handwritten journal, part diary, part cookbook, part devotional, that she hopes to turn into a book once she's released. Tentatively titled Resilient Grace, the manuscript is her way of sharing lessons from the valley, not the mountaintop. "Every prison has its own rhythm," Julie reportedly wrote. "And within it, I've found mine. I want people to know you can still grow in darkness." Looking ahead without regret. Julie does not deny the pain of her circumstances. She doesn't sugarcoat the loneliness or the daily reminders of what she's lost. But she's found meaning, not just in surviving, but in evolving. Her letters have taken on a tone of radical responsibility and quiet strength. "I've learned that shame only has power if you give it a home," she once penned. "I've decided to evict mine." She has begun working towards certification in counseling through a prison education program and hopes to become a licensed addiction and trauma recovery mentor upon release. While her name may always be tied to a reality show and a headline-grabbing trial, Julie wants her legacy to shift, to be about redemption and usefulness. "I used to worry about the legacy I was building for my children through TV," she wrote. "Now I want to leave a legacy of truth, that even when life falls apart, you can still find the pieces worth rebuilding." Final reflections. Julie Chrisley's time in prison is not the story she ever expected to live. But inside those walls, where freedom is rationed and reputation stripped away, she's discovering a power more enduring than celebrity, personal transformation. She isn't the same woman who once greeted cameras in full glam and pearls. Now, stripped of artifice, she's focused on spiritual grit, emotional healing, and building community in a place where most people feel forgotten. Her letters have taken on a tone of radical responsibility and quiet strength. "I've learned that shame only has power if you give it a home," she once penned. "I decided to evict mine." She has begun working towards certification in counseling through a prison education program and hopes to become a licensed addiction and trauma recovery mentor upon release. While her name may always be tied to a reality show and a headline-grabbing trial, Julie wants her legacy to shift, to be about redemption and usefulness. "I used to worry about the legacy I was building for my children through TV," she wrote. "Now I want to leave a legacy of truth, that even when life falls apart, you can still find the pieces worth rebuilding." Final reflections. Julie Chrisley's time in prison is not the story she ever expected to live. But inside those walls, where freedom is rationed and reputation stripped away, she's discovering a power more enduring than celebrity, personal transformation. She isn't the same woman who once greeted cameras in full glam and pearls. Now, stripped of artifice, she's focused on spiritual grit, emotional healing, and building community in a place where most people feel forgotten.